Good day and welcome to DIR Let's Talk Sense. I'm your host, Beaumont Todd, the Trinity Communications Manager at the Department of Inland Revenue. And today we're going to continue our conversation talking about the business license renewal period, payments for business license, VAT, as well as real property. And we have a special guest with us, Mr. Roye from the Chamber of Commerce, who's going to talk to us a little bit about how our partnership with the Chamber actually works. Mr. Roye, welcome to the show.
It's great to be here, man. Thanks.
Now, for our listening audience, just going to talk a little bit about, you have a wonderful bio resume here. So basically, it says you are the vice president at the Chamber of Commerce, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I am the vice chairman of the Chamber of Commerce. I would have been elected this past November 2025.
Okay. And you're also the COO of TriBlock HR, a Caribbean focused HR technology company, and the founder of the COO of
Plato Alpha.
Plato Alpha Designs.
That is correct. That is
Tell us a little bit about your company.
Yeah, so Plato Alpha Design, we're a software development company. We were formed back in April of 2020, where we essentially build business solutions for all size customers, all size businesses. One of the things that we noticed while being in business is that a lot of companies were having issues with their HR and payroll platform. So what we did is we built a system called TriBlock HR to help streamline businesses' HR and payroll operations. And right now we are currently serving over 60 businesses here locally, as well as a few in Turks and Caicos and Barbados as well.
Okay, so for you, technology is definitely one of those important and integrated aspects of what persons need to do in business today to
That is
stay up
correct.
to date.
That is correct. Yes.
Okay, so let's start with the basics. For listeners who may not fully understand or what is the primary role of the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and the Employees Confederation, and who does it serve?
So the primary role of the chamber is that we are the voice of the private sector. We pretty much offer three main services, one being access to our members in terms of being able to access other members through their businesses, through our membership directory, and having that level of access, being a chamber member. Also, we provide advice. So whether it's figuring out how to complete a business license or figuring out any sort of legal advice that you may need, going to the chamber is a critical resource for all of our members. And thirdly is advocacy. As you would be aware that it wouldn't be simple for a business to be able to have some sort of say at the table as it relates to any sort of government affairs. And obviously with the chamber, we're able to provide that holistic voice to be able to speak on behalf of our members and primarily protect the interests of the private sector.
Okay. The chamber has been known for a very long time to collaborate closely with the government agencies, including the Department of Inland Revenue. How does the chamber, you would say, help support compliance while also ensuring the concerns of businesses are heard and addressed?
So pretty much we look at the chamber as pretty much bridging the gap between our members as well as entities like DIR or NIB, etc. So one of the main things we would have recently done is held a business expo, which we would have done, I believe it was about 2 weeks ago, right at the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium. And we had companies such as DIR, NIB, Water and Sewage, Housing and Planning to be able to pretty much give our members the ability to sit down, have one-on-one conversations with these different departments and get a better understanding of their processes, what they need to do to become compliant. And obviously, if they need to do any of those services right there, they had full access to be able to sort those things out. So that's one of the main ways that we can continue to collaborate is by continuing to first educate all of our members and then obviously finding ways to make the process a whole lot more efficient so that obviously the ease of doing business can be a whole lot easier.
Okay. From your experience working with businesses through your companies, I would ask you, what are some of the common operational gaps you see that affect growth and compliance with a number of companies?
That's a great question. The main thing is having inefficient systems. I've worked with many companies, and the first thing that I would notice is that most of their systems, A, don't talk to each other, and B, they're pretty much archaic and out of date. So if you're working with an out of date or archaic system, it's very hard for you to, I would say, transition in the new age and be able to move a whole lot more efficient because having those old systems pretty much kind of bogs you down in a way.
How important then would you say is technology, digital tools, and proper systems in helping businesses stay, I would say, both compliant, efficient with their taxes and even their regulatory obligations?
I think it's the key to survival. I think having digital systems, being able to pretty much have very efficient processes makes the challenge of trying to complete a business license renewal or trying to essentially do anything a whole lot easier, right? I know that the Department of Inland Revenue would have recently updated their portal to, of course, be a whole lot more efficient in how they do things. And from my standpoint, that has definitely assisted a lot of businesses, including myself, in being able to renew my license a whole lot more faster. But I think the private sector or a lot of businesses, especially small and medium sized companies, need to probably sit down maybe with a DIR rep or whoever to just better understand the entire process. And that's why having these partnerships between us and you guys is very important.
Now, some persons believe that the chamber is only for large companies. In reality, who should consider joining the chamber?
That's an interesting question because, the general consensus is always that the chamber serves very large companies, when in reality, the chamber is really meant to serve the small and medium sized businesses. To be honest, most of our membership comprises of small and medium sized businesses. And as you know, those particular MSMEs are the lifeblood of our economy. And we have a lot of different initiatives within the chamber to assist primarily with those companies, whether that's our Chamber Leadership Institute, which is something that we would have recently launched as of last year, giving members the ability to train in different certifications like project management and leadership skills. We also do a lot of trade missions that connect a lot of businesses here locally with businesses, let's say in Canada, Africa, India, etc. And we're doing a whole lot of other different things really geared towards the growth of our MSME economy.
You mentioned a number of benefits. So I just want to ask again. So, what are some of the key, I would say, membership benefits that the small and medium sized businesses might not know of that they would benefit from joining the chamber?
So the main benefit would be the access, right? When I joined the chamber, I joined back in 2021, and immediately becoming a member, I've had access to all of the other current members within the organization. And what that does, it allows you to pretty much encourage B2B trade between businesses, which is something that may not be as easy if you're someone just getting started or not being able to have access to all of these other businesses looking to do business within our economy or within here locally as well.
Okay. Um, for your own business, have you seen, um, I would say, growth from since you've joined the chamber?
100%. I've been very active in the chamber since inception that I would have joined. I've been on multiple different trade missions. I've had the opportunity and very grateful to travel with the chamber on trade missions to Istanbul, Turkey, where I would have been a part of a leadership academy um, with the ILO Association as well as the chamber. I've also been afforded the opportunity to travel to both London and India through the chamber, as well as to China as well for a 2 weeks mission, where we would have studied SME management under the Chinese government and kind of how they do things. So, being a part of the chamber gives you a lot of opportunity to branch yourself out, as well as it gives you the opportunity to see things from a different lens, right? A lot of times, again, persons may look at the chamber as only something that benefits big businesses, but I really, really encourage smaller businesses or persons that are getting into business and don't know where to start. As soon as you get your license, as soon as you are compliant with being a business, the second thing that you should do is become a member of the Chamber of Commerce.
Are there any fees or costs related that persons need to consider?
Absolutely. So we are a membership based organization. So there is a membership fee, a yearly membership fee, and it all depends on the size of your organization, which will then determine the costing per year towards you and your business.
Now, I would ask a question. We are in the business license renewal period, and the department itself has been doing a number of things to try to make it as easy as possible for persons to get through the renewal process. We've been having walkthroughs on a day-to-day basis where we've been encouraging persons if they need assistance. We were taking 20 at a time to come in. We'd walk them through between 10 to 11, 11 to 12, and then 1 to 2, as well as we've been doing virtuals, and we're going to continue to be doing the virtuals, as well as you said, with the expo and
Correct.
also the mall pop-ups that we have, basically, which are scheduled for the 17th and the 24th, for persons to know between 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. The department, along with a number of other government agencies, will be at the mall to be able to assist you through the process. What would you say is some of the, I would guess, big issues that your members have said they've had difficulties with in terms of being able to get through the renewal process?
So I would say some of the issues would be first getting a clarity around the process, which I think really just comes down to education,
Mhm.
right? So a lot of times people don't know what they don't know. And most times when they don't know something, the first thing that they'll say is, oh, well, it isn't working. So I think with you guys doing all these different initiatives to actually educate the population on what's required to be compliant with inland revenue and getting a business license, I think that continuing to do that, continuing to partner with the chamber and other organizations that can get your information in front of the right people, I think is a right step in ensuring that there is no reason why nobody should be compliant in 2026 as it relates to inland revenue.
And you know, I'm so glad that you said that because I had such a good experience this week where we had a client and a customer that came in for assistance, and we were able to just walk him through the process while someone else was learning about starting a business for the first time. And when he finished, he actually called somebody else on the phone, got their login, and was able to do the process for their break. So that was a great experience to have because basically it shows us that the efforts are being appreciated. And once persons, like you said, they understand it, then they're able to go, hey, help one, teach one.
Absolutely.
And, and
Absolutely.
and that's what we're all about. We're going to take our first short break right here. And when we come out, we're going to continue our conversation with Mr. Keith Roy. And we're going to talk a little bit on the second segment about the business license renewal period again, payments, what you need to do, and what not to do, right here on DIR. Let's talk sense.
Welcome to the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation, BCCEC. As the leading voice of the business community, our mission is simple: to ensure that businesses across our islands thrive in a competitive global economy.
The BCCEC provides vital support to businesses of all sizes, from small startups to major enterprises. We advocate for policies that promote growth, connect businesses with resources, and help them navigate any challenges.
By joining the BCCEC, you gain access, exclusive opportunities to connect with industry leaders, advice, expert guidance, and training tailored to support your business, and advocacy. We ensure your voice is heard at the highest levels of government.
The BCCEC is a catalyst for economic development in the Bahamas. We give our members, whether large corporations or small businesses, the tools and support to succeed and grow.
For decades, the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation has been a pillar of stability and progress, influencing policies, driving innovation, and fostering an environment where businesses can flourish.
Join the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce today and be a part of a dynamic network that champions your business. With advocacy, resources, and connections, we're here to help you succeed.
Interested in learning how to renew your business license using our updated online tax administration site? This video will show you step by step how to submit your business license annual actual and your business license annual estimate, which are both important steps in the business license renewal process. Step 1. Log into your account via vat.revenue.gov.bs using the username and updated password. Step 2. Click the Returns tab in the main menu, then select File a Return using the tax type drop-down list. Select Business License Actual, then select the appropriate year for the return that you wish to submit. Please note that if you have not filed a 2023 business license, these options will not be available. You are now ready to start your annual actual return by clicking the Start Return link under the Action tab, then Save and Continue. Next, click Enter License Details or Save and Continue. Then click on the View Details link. Under the Enter License Details tab, click Change to make the required changes. Scroll to the bottom of the page to enter your actual annual turnover for the year, then click Save once finished and return to the previous page. Review the license details to ensure accuracy, then click Save and Continue. You're almost there. Upload the necessary files by using the drag and drop feature. Please note, this is an optional step unless there are required documents to upload. Click Save and Continue to move to the next step. Review the information and then read and agree to the declaration. To submit, click Submit Return. Once submitted, a confirmation notice will appear confirming that the application has been received for your annual actual. You are now one step closer to renewing your business license for 2024. Repeating the previous steps from the annual actual return submission process, click the Returns tab in the main menu, then select File a Return. Using the tax type drop-down list, select Business License Estimated, then select the appropriate year for the return that you wish to submit. You are now ready to start your annual estimated return by clicking the Start Return button under the Action tab, then Save and Continue. Next, click Enter License Details or Save and Continue. Then click on the View Details link. Under the Enter License Details tab, click Change to make necessary changes. Scroll to the bottom of the page to enter the actual estimated turnover for the year, which could be the exact figure as your annual actual. Please note, the screen will pre-populate with general information and recognize if this is a renewal. Mandatory information, including the estimated turnover field, is indicated by a red asterisk. You also need to complete any other field that is relevant to your business. Once done, click Save to proceed and return to the previous page. Once more, review the business license estimated details for accuracy and click Save and Continue. Upload the necessary files by using the drag and drop feature or by selecting files from the device. Please note, this is an optional step unless there are required documents to upload. Click Save and Continue to progress. Review your information and then read and agree to the declaration. To submit, click Submit Return. A confirmation notice will appear confirming that the application has been received for your annual estimated. There you have it. You successfully filed your returns and submitted your renewal. To access more videos like this, visit our website, YouTube channel, or social media pages.
And welcome back. I'm your host, Beaumont Todd. This is DIR Let's Talk Sense, where we talk about different government processes and stuff and break down what do you need to know to be compliant and make it as easy as possible for you as a taxpayer, whether it's your business license, real property tax, or VAT, and to continue being compliant here. So before we got to a break, we were talking a little bit with our special guest from the Chamber of Commerce, but I just want to remind persons again, we are in the business license renewal period, which goes from January 1st until January 31st. We are encouraging persons to please do not wait until the last day to renew your license. We have a number of things going on to try to make it as easy as possible to assist persons. Like I mentioned a short while ago, we have our walkthroughs, which are still going on every day from Monday to Thursday between 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., 11 a.m. to 12, and then 1 to 2. We want to make sure that you can get all of the assistance you need. There's no charge, there's no cost. You can go onto our site. We ask persons if it's possible to pre-register, but we do also take walk-ins because we want you to be successful. The department is doing everything it can to make this process as easy as possible for persons in this business license renewal period. As a reminder, we're letting persons know that we would be in the mall between the 17th and the 24th between 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. So if you have any business license related questions, real property tax related questions, VAT stamp related questions that you need assistance with, please come and we will be there to assist you and walk you through whatever processes you need. Now, just as a reminder to persons, because we are in the business license renewal period, in order for you to get your business license, you have to make sure that your VAT is paid and up to date. If not, you will not be able to get your license if you're not compliant. As a further reminder, the persons who are looking to do business with the government and apply for TCC, you have to also make sure that any other government agency that you may be owing any type of funds or taxes to is also paid up in order for you to get your tax compliance. Now, we talked a little bit about in the earlier segment about the liquor license registration. So it's just a reminder to persons if you are a new business, that we advise you at least 90 days before you are coming in to start the registration process because there are a number of steps that you have to go through, including a public review. The process is usually straightforward once everything is actually in order. And the fees, again, as a reminder for persons, if you are a liquor store or bar, in that instance, it would be $100, and all other businesses would be $50. If you have a bar that has a cage, a drive-through, or a mobile bar, we will not be issuing a liquor certificate in those instances. And once you go on the portal, it's a very simple, straightforward two-step process. Now, for those persons who already have businesses in place and they're just doing a renewal, we are encouraging you to just basically look on your portal for the information because you'll be able to make your payment directly through our portal. For first-time businesses, we encourage you to come into the Department of Inland Revenue where you will be able to make your payment with a credit card. We only take credit cards, not cash. And if you're on one of the family islands where we have offices, we advise you to go into the offices where they will also be able to take a payment with a credit card. Now, if you happen to be on a family island that we don't have an office on, we're encouraging persons at the end of the day, and this is directly for the liquor license registration now, to make sure that you maybe have to reach out to somebody in Nassau that can come into the office and take. But if you do have questions, we encourage you at the end of the day to email us at taxinquiries@bahamas.gov.bs, or you can give us a call at 225-7280. You can also follow us on all of our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X, and basically at DIR Bahamas, and email us questions there because we'll be happy to follow through and assist you in those regards. Now, as far as payments go, we want to remind persons at the end of the day that the payments for the business license and real property tax will be due on the 31st of March. That doesn't mean you cannot pay it before, but that is when it will be due. But the renewal period is from the 1st to the 31st. So as soon as you get your documentation, we encourage you to basically go through the process. Now, if you happen to be $250,000 and less, we encourage you to go through the process because you don't even need an accounting certificate. But if you are 250,000 to 4.99 million, that means you need an accounting certificate from a BICA certified accountant. And if you are 5 million or more, then you will need a full audit. But otherwise than that, we encourage persons to go on the portal, renew their license. If you are less than 100,000, that means there are no fees for you to actually incur. So please, we encourage persons at the end of the day, we want you to be successful in this 2026 year, and we're doing everything possible in our power to assist you with that. So just as a quick reminder in terms of payment, the options you have in terms of payment for the business license is, of course, to go directly to the portal, which means your payment would hit directly once you've actually done it. You can also go to Royal Bank and make your payments. But what we encourage persons is to check our website, inlandrevenue.finance.gov.bs, under the business license registration and look for payments so you have the correct payment information. There are at least 60 something government accounts, and the department has at least 13 accounts for different payment types. So you want to make sure you have the right payment information for the right payment type to make sure that your information and your payment gets to us on time. And this is just a quick reminder for persons for their VAT payment. Again, the 14th for large taxpayers, for them to put in their documents in 21 days from that. And for everybody else, it will be on the 21st. So we just want you to be successful in this 2028, 2026. I'm getting excited and jumping ahead of myself. But at the end of the day, while we are in this business license renewal period, take advantage of all of the information, all of the sessions, and on the website, all of the different videos we have available for you. So, Mr. Roy, right before we wrap up this segment, one of the things I would definitely like to understand a little bit better for persons is in terms of what you've seen from both members and clients. Have you seen that a number of persons, I would say, is intimidated by technology? And maybe there are more efforts that we need to do in making sure that the processes are broken down in such a way that persons have it easier for them to access the information.
So I would agree with you that there are quite a number of individuals, and maybe it's just a shifting within the generation in terms of them being intimidated with technology. Me being in the technology space, I see it all the time where, we pretty much go into a company and you may have, one or two gatekeepers that may not want the process to change because they're comfortable with how things are now. And as you know, most persons don't like change. But what I think what needs to happen, which I think is already happening, is simply educating persons on how to actually do something when it comes to technology. A lot of times persons are scared to move forward because they know that they may not be successful in whatever change is coming into place. Perfect example is moving from Excel spreadsheets, which is what everyone knows, to moving to like an HR system, for example, right? You look at an HR system, it may be a bit intimidating. Same thing with doing your renewal process for inline revenue. Maybe before you guys had the portal and stuff set up, everything was a bit different. Maybe persons would have preferred that because they just knew how to do it. But as soon as you guys added a system on top of that, most persons are like, oh, well, I don't want to do that, or I don't want to learn how to do that. But it all just comes down to training, education, and assuring the public that this new process is not only efficient, but it will get you in and out at the fastest time possible.
Now, I'm just going to throw this quick question in before we close up for the day. How do you think the progression of what you've seen with AI is going to help a lot of businesses in terms of their growth?
That is a great question. And, me being a technology enthusiast, you get a lot of persons that hear AI and the first thing they think of is, oh, AI is going to take my job. AI is going to take whatever that I'm doing and it's going to replace me. And I want persons to know that, first of all, AI isn't here to replace anybody. It's really here to enhance what you're already doing. So integrating AI in not only with what I'm doing in my business, but even some of the things that you guys are doing within inline revenue, I think will pretty much just speed up the entire process, make your lives a bit more efficient, and allow a lot of the reps to focus on things that won't require a lot of the monotonous work that they're probably doing now in trying to serve a lot of customers with what they're currently doing.
And I asked a question because, and you kind of answered already, because one of the things I'm hoping going forward is that a lot of persons take advantage of the new system, just like when the internet came online, to help streamline what their processes is doing, make it more efficient, help them with their compliance so that there's a lot more accountability at the end of the day as well. Um, do you find that a lot of the businesses that come to you already have in place a system when it comes to keeping proper record, keeping with their finances, or is that something that you see a lot of members sometimes need assistance with?
Um, I would say in terms of keeping record of finances, a lot of companies I think has a system for that, like an accounting software. So that really isn't something that I think is still manual in 2026. But everything outside of their finances, I can guarantee you is probably still manual, right? A lot of times if something isn't revenue generating, um, it isn't placed as a necessity in a business until it comes to a point where they're just moving so slow that it's needed, like HR and payroll operations, right? So um, it really just depends. But in terms of like accounting for finances, I think a lot of businesses here locally are using some sort of system to keep track of that.
I know you mentioned a little earlier about I think it was the educational classes that y'all have started with the chamber. Does that also include financial education in terms of how to produce income statements and different things that they need, whether they're doing their business license renewal or their VAT filing?
Yeah, so there are some courses I believe on that as well, but definitely so that to make sure that I'm not saying the wrong thing, you can always reach out to the chamber as well as check out our website as well. It would have all the information in terms of all of the courses that we're offering as it relates to the Chamber Leadership Institute.
Awesome. As we're about to wrap up, want to give business owners one final key piece of advice to help, strengthen their compliance and long-term sustainability this year. And what would that be?
I would say to pretty much take a look at all of your systems and figure out what is the one thing you can do this year to make your business more efficient. Now, that may mean maybe reaching out to a professional to do an audit of what you're currently doing, or it just simply means if you're a smaller company, just sitting down and figuring out what is the biggest constraint that I currently have, that if once I fix it, it will cause my business to move faster. For some persons, that means maybe integrating and consolidating multiple systems into one. For some other companies, it may mean redefining some of the processes that you're doing in terms of maybe a sales process, a delivery process, etc. But the main thing is figuring out what's that one constraint that you have, and then pretty much using all of your resources in trying to solve that so that your business can run more efficiently. And of course, you can make more money.
How can persons reach the chamber if they want more information or even to consider membership?
Right. So you can reach us at our website, the Chamber of Commerce, the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce.com. You can also reach us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I believe the Instagram is the Bahamas Chamber 242. You can just type in the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce on any of the social media sites, and you should see our logo pop up as well. In terms of applying for membership, you can always apply online, or you can give the office a call, and they will definitely ensure that you have all the information that you need to become a member today. And lastly, for persons that aren't really owning a business, but you still want to be a part of the chamber, we have a young professional society that you can join as well, YPS, that's growing and is very vibrant. So you can look at applying for that as well by reaching out to the chamber through our website or through calling the office as well.
Ms. Roye, thank you so much for being with us today. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. And I pray a lot of persons take advantage of the opportunity and the partnerships that we have with the Chamber and other agencies to grow in this 2026.
Absolutely. And I'm looking forward to our continued partnership as well.
Yes. As we close, let's remember that compliance begins with staying informed. So we want you to join us again for our next episode of DIR Let's Talk Sense, where we will continue to break down government processes, taxes, and other things to make it as easy as possible for you. We look forward to seeing you on our next episode.